Straight out of the Wilson Pro Labs, now available at Tennis Warehouse, this is the Wilson Blade Pro 98 1820 V9. Featuring an emerald night glossy paint job and a more rectangular box beam construction compared to that of the standard Blade 98, this racket has a 98 square inch head size, an 11.4 ounce strung weight, and the swing weight comes in at an average of 341, lending itself to a high level of stability and plow through. The beam width is 21.5 millimeters and yields a 60 stiffness rating, making for a superbly plush and smooth feel on contact. Experienced players who love to take a big cut at the ball will be rewarded with solid stability and loads of control from the 1820 string bed.
Wilson's brand new Blade Pro V9 1820 is definitely a mouthful to pronounce, but it is definitely very easy and fun to play with from any part of the court. I really enjoyed this play test, and I don't know for sure if there is any foam inside this, but it definitely has a Pro Lab feel. It is also very dampened without feeling muted. Overall, this was just a great stick for me to play with for any part of the court. It gave me a soft feel at contact of the ball, but it gave me a firm response on the way out. I understand this RA comes out at about 60. There's some other frames we've been testing that just have a 59 on it. I'm gonna say there is a vast disparity between the two rackets. I'm definitely getting a little bit of energy return. Ideally, I'm gonna pair these tight 1820 patterns with something with an edge along with a thinner 16L or maybe even a 17 gauge poly. But overall, this racket is just meat and potatoes from any part of the court. If there was one shot, well, I gotta say there wasn't really one shot that I loved more than the other, but I did really enjoy grinding from the baseline. This was just a great dingles, singles, any kind of long rally stick. I can stay in it for all day comfort, and it's definitely gonna give me all court versatility. Lastly, I wanna mention if there's any knock that I could give to this racket, it would be I would like to see it with maybe a quarter or a half-inch extra length on it. Other than that, one of the best blades that I've played with thus far.
So I had a great time playing with the Blade Pro 1820, and as a user of the regular 1820, I definitely found a lot more power and stability from this racket, which was definitely appreciated. The power I would credit to the 340 swing weight. On the regular blade, I have some issues with it when I'm scrapping for some points or like on the defense, but this one I was able to depend on it a bit more so on those shots, so that was really appreciated. The stability was really good. With serves, I really like hitting flat serves, and the extra swing weight definitely helped out. I would pull a Troy and slap some leather on this just to make it a bit more maneuverable. So when I'm hitting those slice serves and hitting kickers, I could pronate a little bit more so. But again, with the flat serves, it was amazing. The swing weight helps out quite a bit. All in all, a great racket to try out if you're already a Blade fan. I've always been a Blade fan myself, so I really enjoy playing with this. If you're looking for a little bit more stability, plow through, and just still keeping that comfort in there, this is a great racket to try out.
First thing, looking at this Blade Pro 98 1820, I really like the glossy paint job here. Beautiful looking frames along with the Ultra Pro and the 6195. Really all the Pro Lab rackets that we have from Wilson are just some really nice feeling rackets. It's really hard for me to name my favorite. This one here, one thing I noticed, that higher swing weight, right around 340. This is definitely one of these rackets that I would customize, but on the bottom half. So I'm adding either a leather grip or some tungsten weight in the handle. I just really think this racket needs a little help being more head light on certain shots. With the Ultra Pro, that one was very fast and whippy, so that one I'm adding a bit more weight up in the hoop. And the 6195, that one's good to go in stock form. But out of the two string patterns of the Blade Pro, I like the 1820. I just felt more dialed in, more connected. Compared to the regular blade, they both have a pretty low stiffness rating, but this one does feel a little bit firmer up in the hoop, very, very stable, but still nice and plush. Loved it on the slice. I liked it on flat shots and the flat serve, but like I said, up at net, I definitely would want a more headlight setup here. So I'm really liking this racket. I think I'm gonna customize it up. I'm gonna keep hitting it, and I really appreciate these Pro Lab rackets for their looks, for their performance, and I can see why pro players on the tour definitely would go to something like this.
This was a really fun play test for me. I love the way this racket plowed through the ball. As the others have mentioned, there's a lot of weight up in the hoop, and it gives the racket tons of stability, especially at net when I'm hitting my volleys. I could really relax my grip on the racket and just hit gentle touch volleys and let the racket provide the stability. So that was really nice, gave me a lot of feel. There's great feel with this racket anyway. It's just a ton of control from that 1820 string bed, nice flexible beam. I was getting good plow through on serves. I like the way the ball was penetrating and pushing through the court. And as others have mentioned, I would definitely load this one up with a leather grip, bring that balance a little bit more headlight, and that will trick my brain into making it feel like a lighter, whippier racket, and there would be a better spec for my style of play. But even in stock form, super fun play test.
For this review, we tried a bunch of different Luxilon poly strings, but for today, we have the Luxilon ALU Power 1.25 at 52 pounds. And for more information on this racket or anything tennis related, be sure to head to Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, or Tennis Only.